All right, everyone, welcome back once again, bringing you another series from WCS, the European Championships. We actually see some Spanish coming out right there because there are two Spanish brothers in this game. I hope that already tells you exactly who is playing, but you might not know who's casting. With me once again from Muatorn TV, Muatorn himself, Brandon. How stoked are you for this CVT?
Dude, I love watching people who know each other forced to compete. Oh, it's like this sick pleasure of mine.
Yeah, I love playing against people I know, especially you, because I kill you every time.
Yeah, you're just better than I am. We only played once. Next time I'll just cheese
every time, 100% win rate.
Yep,
Suck
I guess
it.
so. Just you wait. Just you wait.
All right, you might have seen it there at the beginning. We do have these two brothers, the Spanish Armada, they're called, playing for Team Karont3 Karont3 Esports Club. Is that what it is? Oh Jesus! I should have looked that up. It's Karont something.
Ruined it.
It's Karont something or another. The red Zerg in the top right-hand corner. The younger brother of the two, he's VortiX.
Yeah, and his older brother, who's been playing professionally for a bit longer than VortiX, he's LucifroN. Also one of the most abusive Terrans of all time.
Yep, and before this, we actually did have LucifroN playing Warcraft 3. Had a ton of success over there in Warcraft 3. And people were like, oh, when is he going to just be a good player? And all of a sudden, he's a really good player now that he's investing some time into the game. And I looked it up. It is Karont Esports Club.
Karont. So what does that mean, do you know?
I have no clue. But I do know that they wished each other luck at the beginning. Suerte? Means
suerte,
luck.
Yeah.
They said, Suerte, have fun.
Yeah. So good luck and have... Oh my, that drone. He realizes it. That drone was stuck on the SUV for a little bit, but
yeah,
it got away, so no biggie. And this drone has actually been like a complete pain in the ass here. This LucifroN has sent 2 SUVs down just to deal with it, and again, I mean, his command center gets even more delayed.
Yeah, this drone being, like you said, a complete pest. You typically see this out of probes a lot of the times against Zerg, but not too often do you see drones being used that effectively. For some reason, Zergs just don't do that. It's because Zergs don't micro. Well, maybe.
It's true. I mean, listen, how many hotkeys do you use? 1?
No, I actually have Zerglings on 1,
or
Ultralisks, and then I have Roaches on 2, Infestors
really
are on 3, and then Corruptors are on 4, or Mutalisks, and then Broodlords go on, like when I combine my Zerglings and my Roaches into one group, once I have Broodlords out, then Broodlords go onto 2, and Roach Zerglings are on 1. And then Queens are on 6, 7, and 8. And
your hatches are
on 5.
5. Oh, you missed 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you use more hotkeys than pretty much every pro Zerg player.
Yep, I have a really ineffective setup.
Woohoo! I actually use more hotkeys than most Protoss players too.
Yep.
I don't understand why they don't use more, but oh well.
A look into the life of Lowmaster's beef.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Oh my god, those crows are back.
Are they?
Oh my god.
Listen.
I'm gonna go shoot them. Like, I'm gonna buy a BB gun.
You have a gun, right?
No. Well, yeah, but not here. I'm not gonna go take my Glock 18 out and shoot some birds, okay?
Why the hell not?
I need my 22 rifle to shoot some birds.
You got a 22?
Yeah, back at home.
There you go. Go get your 22 and shoot them freaking crows, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, we see no gas yet for VortiX. No gas. So just concentrating on a high mineral economy. He's got 4 queens out, so no 6th queen opening, but still looking to get a lot of creep spread going with these extra 2 queens. And I'm assuming a 3rd. Yeah, okay, there it is. Sweet. I was going to say a 3rd should be taken soon, so I'm assuming one of these queens will go over to the 3rd, and then one will just keep spreading creep. That sound about right?
Sounds about right. He's probably going to be going for a 4 queen. He might go 5 queens here, but... Wow, I don't know what the hell that was.
That was a cough.
Oh.
I covered it, kind of.
Interesting. That was just a really strange sound.
Yeah, it's more like a clear throat plus cough type deal. So it's like clearing your throat, but instead of just like moving it out of your throat, you just kind of like try to cough it out. You know what I mean?
All right. We do have an Overlord actually moving in right now. Going to try to get a little bit of scouting information off. And there are no Marines on the map to actually deal with this right now. The only Marines are actually out there at the Zelnaga Towers. So Overlord going to get a full scout off there as it does kept the... Oh my god, I have the hiccups so bad right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got the hiccups? You want me to cast for a bit?
Oh my god, I got the hiccups. Hold on.
Oh no.
The Overlord does go ahead and spot that Banshee coming out as it does. Cloak, I'm going to fight my way through these hiccups right into the danger zone, man.
Oh man.
Okay, go ahead. Go for it.
Okay, anyway, I'm going to cast for a bit as Beef is incapacitated by the simplest form of hiccups. These 6 Hellions doing some good damage to this hatchery. They've actually got it down to about 2/3 health. There is a Banshee also joining them. Cloak is not done yet, but it will be soon, and I'm assuming that if it does finish, these queens will have to run. Actually, the Banshee's the Hellions just back up anyway, so not a big deal. Will Vortex try to go in there? If he does, it's not a good idea because there's 4 queens waiting to block everything. And are you ready? No.
I think I've man-moded my way through the hiccups.
Okay, I kind of heard you making some noise.
Yeah, so the 4 queens actually doing a very good job of protecting this hatchery. And I also... Oh, that Banshee does fall without ever getting to use that cloak. Did he actually cancel cloak? No. So yeah, you don't want to lose a Banshee with half of its energy without cloaking. But the queens were doing a very good job of blocking the natural over here. But this time there are actually a lot of lings that are going to try to get us around. They get us around on about half of the Hellions right here. The rest of them on creep are going to be taking a ton of damage. So trading lings for Hellions right there, that is exactly what you want to be doing. And presumably you'd want to trade nothing for Hellions, but... if you're going to be trading something, you want to be trading your lings rather than your drones. And the last couple of queens are going to be cleaning up the 2 Hellions here. Back over at the third base, 2 Hellions going to be making their way in right there, but they're going to be micro just a little bit there. And now they're going to start cleaning up a couple of these drones. So definitely a little bit of success here for the Terran player, but not exactly getting the damage done that he wanted to get done there. But behind this, he's already teched to that 3rd command center, and he's starting to make his transition into mech.
Yeah, Vortex did go up to 11 workers killed, and he is actually ahead right now. It's 57 to 55. It was a little bit more ahead until a bunch of drones popped out right as I was talking about the drone count. So it was a bigger. Jesus, it was a bigger difference before. Definitely evened out a little bit now. And like you were talking about, the infestors are now done. I didn't see pathogen glands. Did he get that?
It's actually.
Oh, he's on the way.
He made a few. He made 1 infester before. That was probably a misclick.
I would think so. But LucifroN does now have his 3rd up, so he's done some damage. He's gotten his 3rd up safely. He's in an okay spot here. He's actually not behind. Actually, he's ahead of supply by 2. So, there's no disadvantage here. If anything, you have to say he's just a tiny bit ahead.
Yeah, LucifroN definitely looking very good. His 1/1 upgrades are going to be starting here, and the Zerg player hasn't started 2/2 quite yet. So Zerg definitely going to be wanting to start those if he wants to retain his upgrade advantage. You don't want to fall behind in upgrades to this meching player, certainly. And right now we do even see a 4th command center coming down from LucifroN. Definitely eager to keep that economy going. Already on 5 factories right now, only 1 with a reactor. So going to be producing 4 tanks and Thors at a time. That's going to be absolutely awesome. And with that 4th command center, he's going to be able to take, he's going to be able to keep his econ lead, as right now he's got a substantial one, being up by 5 SCVs and being able to drop 3 mules at a time. The Zerglings are going to meet with some Hellions out here on the map. There's no blue flame yet, which I think is a little bit of an oversight by LucifroN. You want to get that blue flame up so that you're able to deal with all these Zerglings and lend a little bit more oomph to your Hellion harass. But that's not done quite yet, as now there are some Ravens being produced. But without that Corvid reactor and without Hunter-Seeker missile, this is most likely going to be simply for detection at this point, possibly to push back a little bit of the creep spread. But the creep spread not that big right now.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think by seeing more Hellions being made, Vortex has figured out LucifroN is indeed meching. Generally, if you lose a bunch of Hellions, you don't see any more being remade if it's a Marine tank. And also the fact that LucifroN hasn't really moved out at all, which is something you definitely do with a Marine tank. Vortex kind of knows. And as a result, Neuroparasite is on the way, so he's going to be able to neural all these some of these Thors. And if you do that and the tanks focus the Thors, it just gives you such a favorable engagement as Zerg. You know, having your opponent's units kill each other is kind of awesome.
Yeah, Neural Parasite definitely going to be something to look for here in this game. Hive is already done with the Spire finishing there. We do have the Greater Spire coming up right now. Hellion's going to be trying to make a run back into the natural. Vortex needs to land a fungal, but no, actually not going to happen. He's going to let these Hellions go right on in. These are +1 Hellions, no blue flame yet. So they're not going to be two-shotting any of these drones, but they kill a lot of drones. And they're even going to be able to get a couple of Zerglings as well. The units killed now up to 22 drones that have been killed in this game. And LucifroN doing a good job of trading minerals for minerals. It's something you want to be doing as much as possible as a mech player. The minerals are not nearly as important to you as the gas. That's what's going to limit your ability to produce those very effective units, the Thors and these tanks. And with +2/2 hitting right now, the meching player looking like you might want to move out across the map.
Yeah, and something I'd like to point out here, you know, LucifroN is ahead in supply, but if you look at the worker count, it's 67 drones to 90 SCVs. In other words, this mech army is not actually very big. He's got a supply lead, but that's pretty much all workers. So when the actual armies fight, if it's a max-max situation, LucifroN could be in trouble just because of his supply deficit. Again, you know, mech is really cost-efficient, though, so he can make this work even with the supply as it is. If he keeps trading Hellions well for drones and stuff like that, you know, it won't be as big a deal. So we'll really have to see if Vortex can take advantage of the fact that his army is going to be bigger in a max situation.
Right now, the army supply is pretty much even at 105 to 106, but there are 9 tanks on the map right now. They're starting to siege up this 4th base with a couple of Banshees in the air as well. Cloak going to be up, but here come the Broodlords. There's no Vikings in this composition. There's one Viking on the map, but it's been off on Overlord duty, and the mech player going to have to retreat right here. LucifroN has completely overextended. Those siege tanks do unsiege. Even Neural Parasite's going down on a couple of Thors right here, and the meching player being absolutely decimated in this engagement. Not a single Broodlord was attacked that entire time, and even that Neural Parasited Thor going to be killed by the Broodlord does manage to take out the Infestor that did have control of him previously, so a little bit of a gotcha moment right there. The command center over here for LucifroN going to be canceled as he was not able to hold on to that, and the 4th base now going to be a little bit counter-sieged.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the complete lack of anti-air in that composition is really hurting LucifroN right now. He is making Vikings right now, but not very many. He's also getting air upgrades, but he doesn't have any yet, and there's really only, what is it, the one Thor is dead now, so there's absolutely no anti-air except for this Raven, who can throw down auto turrets, but I don't know how those will work. The Broodlord's now sieging up this planetary fortress. The SCVs are repairing it, but it looks like it's still, okay, it's staying about the same, so pretty much in a state of equilibrium at this point.
Yep, most likely will be able to survive here until he gets some Vikings out. Although Infestor's going to be joining in right now, and if the Infestor's able to land a couple of nice fungals, that might be the thing that tips the scale in favor of the Zerg. But right now, it looks like the Broodlings have actually done a good enough job of killing a couple of these SCVs and surrounding the planetary effectively enough that the planetary is going to be falling here. And as these Corruptors start to come in, they're going to be able to push back the paltry number of Vikings. PDDs go down here, so these Vikings are going to be able to gain a little bit of an edge, but those PDDs are now out of energy, and the Corruptor force is going to be able to completely overwhelm them. Meantime, the planetary has been completely healed up, but all the Vikings on the ground are going, or excuse me, all the tanks on the ground are in fact going to be dying. Production of Vikings now going to start in earnest now that those 3 additional starports have finished up and the planetary being besieged at this time, but there's simply a ton of Corruptors out here on the field.
Yeah, and there's actually 2, I don't know if you noticed, if there are 2 Banshees that went and cleaned up all the Infestors, so that was well done there by LucifroN. I'm actually a little bit ahead of you, so anyway, like you said, the planetary was healed up, but now the Broodlords have gotten it back down. LucifroN is starting to heal it up again, but, you know, healing that costs him not only SCVs, but minerals to actually do the repairing, and it looks like he's also going to lose a Thor right now, is LucifroN, so this is kind of looking like he's in trouble a little bit. Unless LucifroN can muster a bunch of Vikings with some good upgrades, these Broodlords just look unstoppable. He is going to lose this planetary now. There just aren't enough SCVs to repair, and yep, down it goes, so trouble for LucifroN and an Ultralisk Cavern on the way for Vortex.
Yeah, the dreaded switch of techs here. Every time that a Zerg is able to switch tech between the hive units, between Broodlords and Ultralisks, that spells doom for Terrans. Terrans absolutely hate when they do that because they have to prepare for each one of those techs. If they are fighting against Ultras, they need to have tanks and Thors in their composition. If they're fighting against Broodlords, they need to have tons of Vikings and even some Ravens in their composition. But as soon as you switch the Zerg, it doesn't cost the Zerg anything to do so. Only the minerals. They don't have to have a different set of infrastructures. There's no build-up time. You just hit that U key, you hit that B key, and there you are. You have a whole new tech set. And there are enough Vikings here that they might be able to get a significant amount of damage done.
Yeah.
But there are a ton of infestors over here on the ground as well. The Viking Flower is going to take a ton of damage from fungals if that does come down. And in the meantime, the chitinous plating upgrade starting here for Vortix. He's got plenty of room and supply, 74 supply, 76 supply actually, that he can use to make this Ultras transition. And now Blue Flame Hellions coming over here into the fourth, going to be able to do some serious economic damage here. And there's nothing in position to defend this. Scan even going to be going down to take care of any burrowed drones there, and they're going to make their way over here into the third as well, where there's a lot of drones waiting for them. A couple of spine crawlers there and a queen as well. But so many drones are being roasted right now. This is actually doing a ton of economic damage. 89 drones have been killed in this game.
Yeah, this is like way lots. These Hellions have just done such a good job. And now that LucifroN has had some time to build up his Viking and Thor count, and he's actually got anti-air enough to deal with these Broodlords if the fungals aren't good enough. There are a lot of Corruptors, however, but, you know, pretty much the point is the Thors do the splash damage on the Corruptors because they stack up, and then the Vikings have ran over the Broodlords. But here we go, we have an engagement here that might be coming. No, he's just going to attack the Planetary, the Orbital for now. The tanks is sieged up, so they shouldn't have any trouble with Zerglings and the likes of that, but there aren't any Zerglings, and here's the engagement. The Orbital does go down. The Vikings are fighting the Corruptors right now. Some good fungals on the Vikings. You got 3 with that one, and then refungals again. There's a second fungal over to the right. Also got 3 more with that, and it looks like the Vikings are pretty much cleaned up here. These 2 should die. 3 more are surviving.
This engagement looking like it's going decently for Terran. The Orbital does fall, so that's definitely worth noting. But right now, Terran with a 40 supply advantage right here. The Broodlords, there's 7 Broodlords left in the sky, and there's really not enough Vikings on the map still. That's the story of this game right now. It's really hard for the Terran to be able to deal with the Broodlords up there if he doesn't have enough Vikings, and the Ultras are being made now with the very small amount of money that Vortix does have, but it's not going to matter. LucifroN, GG's, and wow. LucifroN just did not have what he needed to deal with those Broodlords.
I'm just going to say this now, LucifroN should not have left the game.
Yeah.
He was ahead in supply. I think he was still way ahead in workers. Yeah, 66 to 36. This army would have been cleaned up soon with these 2 Vikings in production. He's also got some Thors out. And all that really needed to happen was he needed to kill that Corruptor, and all that was being made was Lings and Ultras. So, tank Thor is actually good enough to do that. I think he was under the impression Vortix was not going to make Ultralisks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say that, knowing that these players, they know the game much better than us. They know their limits much better than us, and we also see a lot more than they do. He doesn't know that his opponent's only on 36 drones and 1.5 mining bases right now. He doesn't know that, and we do, so there's definitely a possibility that he could have made a comeback here, but I can certainly understand his perspective that there are 7 Broodlords in the air. There's a little bit of Corruptor support there. He wasn't sure if he was going to be able to deal with those with the Vikings. So he was comfortable GGing out right there, preemptive or not. We are going on to game 2. See if the younger brother, Hermano Moreno, dude, I don't even know these names.
Stop trying.
I speak Spanish, and I'm screwing this up. Oh, it's ridiculous.
You speak Mexican Spanish or Spanish?
I speak Mexican Spanish.
Okay.
They're very similar. Anyway, we're going on to game 2. Thank you for watching, guys. I've been your Castigos Beef. Check me out over at youtube.com/beefpotpie1. Brandon, close it out.
Yeah, man. You can also find me at youtube.com/MuatarnTV or on Twitter at Muatarn. And, come back. We're going to finish this series up. We're going to cast at least one more game. Hopefully more, because these players are both really good, and we would love to see you guys next time.
All right. See you there.